Yo, what is up, guys? Happy Thursday night football. We're going to go through a shit ton of bets. So, happy Thursday night football. What we can do is we can start out. Let's just take a look at the money line. So, it seems like lines have kind of been drifting towards the Lions a bit, not a ton, but you can see some line movement in general. Lines moving towards the Lions kind of makes sense. You can see here just on the line movement charts, spread 2.5. Total 44 and a half, 45. Obviously, sports betting 101. If you want to bet the under, you should probably try to get the under 45 half as opposed to the under 45. But anyways, without further ado, let's look for some picks. And I heard someone mention something about we got Tony and then who else? We got some unders. We got some value in the unders. So we can take a look at Zach Moss. So again, like the way I'm always in these videos, going to be showing you the books I'm using. So Zach Moss looks like kind of a coin flip to score a touchdown or not. Minus 120, minus 120 on Fliff. And then we can check out here, maybe a little bit of juice towards Tony's under if you look at the sports books with two-way markets. But anyways, what we can do is we can go here. And again, I say this in every video, but depending on where you are located, wherever you are in the world, wherever you're tuning in from, there's tons of different sports books out there. So I always recommend having as many, books as possible. Just obviously it depends on, where you're located. And usually I keep my max odds on this positive EV tool around like 200. And all this tool does is you can see there's some bets on Bovada, Hot Streak, BetMGM. All this tool is going to do is point out, value in the market. So here can be the first play we lock in. So you can see lines have been fucking ripping towards Wicks going under. And again, like a lot of people are like, it's surprising that lines move, but lines move all the time, right? So it's very clear in the MLB, like when official starting lineups come out for games, when the sportsbooks release their official starting lineups, you'll see like a lot of line movement. Whoever the fuck is pitching against the Dodgers, his strikeout props, his outs props, his, player walk props, all that stuff has to move once the Dodgers are fishing, Bryce Harper ejected. But all this stuff has to move, long story short, as official lineups come out. Again, also, remember to take advantage of the easy money promos. I'm not going to act like this is, the greatest bet of all time. It's only a one reception discount, but you can see 23% off is really good. Laporta, take him over 3.5 receptions on Sleeper if you want to. If you don't have Sleeper, they have a $100 deposit match. My refer a friend code is just my name, Alex. Just my name, Alex, and you can see we got a lot of bets for tonight. So without further ado, let's kind of look for some picks. So we can start out here, and again, I'm already on Wicks under 1.5 receptions. I'm all over this play. So you can see I have him here on Underdog Fantasy, and lines have just been ripping towards his under. But I'm going to lock it in on Fliff as well. So again, what's great about Fliff is a sports book that is legal in every state, basically. So what I can do is check this out. I'll show you guys the power of technology. Is I'm going to switch this to boom, Fliff. Check that out. Ooh, bam, there we go. So now we got Fliff pulled up, and then we just want to bet this. So this will be the first bet we lock in on this live stream. We got, how much time do we have till game time? We got some time. Have a drink, pour a drink. Let's hit some bets. Let's win some bets. So where are we looking? Where's receptions? The hardest part is you got to know how to navigate these books quickly because the best betting opportunities, they're not going to last forever. So where is he? So here we have him. Whoops, I passed over him. Minus 160. Damn, I only have $70 left in my account. I've been hammering bets there. So anyways, maybe that's the first play. Whatever, we lock in. And obviously you can bet more on it. I'm on this play all over the market, on Underdog Fantasy, stuff like that. So feel free to put more on it. But anyways, this looks really stupid actually looking at it. So let's switch back to Chrome and let's go through some bets. Whoa, that did. Whoa. What is going on, man? I gotta stop changing the layout. I apologize. This is the stupidest thing in the world. So let's go back here. Okay, so how does this look? This looks good. Okay, So there we go. We got Chrome back. Hopefully this is working and doesn't look completely stupid. But let's go through some bets. We'll go through Prize Picks. We'll go through Underdog Fantasy. Say this in every video. I'm just going to show you what I'm putting my own money down on, and hopefully we can find some good plays. Take Romeo Doubs, bro. Yeah, Fliff's max bet size is $250. So what should we do? Anyways, what we can do is we can start out here. So we can refresh this. And let's just, where do we want to start? We got a lot of good bets. Underdog Fantasy has a max bet size of $100. And if you're wondering, why did I take this play on Underdog Fantasy too? It's because it's ridiculously good. So you can see Fliff already moved to minus 165. That's why I say you got to be on this shit. And if you don't think minus 160 versus minus 165 is a big deal, it is. Right? Minus 165 honestly still looks good. You can see Pinnacle right here. They used to have this plus 107. Lines are ripping towards his under. And Pinnacle is known to be one of the sharper, more sophisticated bookmakers. So he's probably projected to get less targets in this game. I don't fucking know why, right? It's like, the market is always reacting to new information. If the coaches say, hey, we think we're going to run the ball more, whatever, all those things have to move around player prop lines. Injuries, lineup changes, all that sort of stuff gets reflected into the market. So you can see this guy has become a huge favorite to go under. And again, on Underdog Fantasy, that's exactly what we want, because on Underdog Fantasy, they don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under, right? You're always getting the same payout based on you selecting over versus under. So we can zoom in a bit. So if every sportsbook has this guy heavily favored to go under, you want to be on his under. But anyways, let's start out on Prize Picks. So let's get rid of this game. I mean, I'll try to include some picks for tonight's game, but hey, if there's value, we're gonna be betting on it. So what we can do is, again, like I always recommend, the more books you have, the better. The more books you have, the more promos, right? Sleeper today has this promo, whatever. The more books Prize Picks has Taco Tuesday, yada, 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 all good stuff. So let's start out with Diggs. Okay, so let's go here. And Kenneth Walker is the best play on the board. Oh boy, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. So what we can do is we can go here and let's go to Diggs, right? So this is the first play we want to be on. So it's very simple, right? Once you start to think. Most sports bettors, I feel like they don't fucking think, right? Like, okay, Prize Picks, every sports book has Diggs heavily favored to go over 6.5 receptions, right? He is a heavy favorite, minus 150 favorite. The same way, you can see the Lions are favored to win this game. The Vikings are favored to win the game, however you want to think about it. Every sportsbook is a data point, right? BetOnline is a notoriously sharp or sophisticated bookmaker. And all these books are saying, Diggs is more likely to go over as opposed to under. So obviously you want to take his over in your Prize Picks entry. No offense, you're not smarter than a bunch of $10 billion companies like DraftKings, Caesars, and MGM who all have Diggs heavily favored to go over. So that's the first play we can lock in. But what we can also do is go to the sportsbook screen, and I'll show you this play on Walker. I know we're already on it. Some people are going to be like, oh, I'm already on that play. Well, don't bet it again, and we can go through some other picks you can go with. But this play seems solid, right? And I'll show you exactly why. Walker is a huge favorite to go under, to not score a touchdown. So again, if you look at Tony, it's like on these books with two-way markets, there's like a little bit of juice towards the under, but not much, right? So Kelce, although I already bet on Kelce to not score a touchdown at plus 120, but you can see here, Kelce is a slight favorite to score a touchdown, it looks like, on the books with two-way markets. But Walker is a huge favorite to not score a touchdown. And you can do this for college football as well. Minus 155 to not score. Minus 154. That's exactly what we want. And again, I know some people, it's like some people, you're taking an under. It's like, I'm just following the data. I never will fucking switch it up. I'm never going to just start degenerately betting with my gut. I'm always just looking for value in the odds. I understand how Prize Picks works. I understand their payout structure inside and out, how many picks is optimal. I know 5-pick flexes are optimal. I know what percentage of my over-unders I need to win to be profitable, 54.25%. And I know that following the data will show me the picks that are winning about 54.25% of the time. So what the fuck? I want Prize Picks. So let's go back here. Let's go to Prize Picks. Next play, Tyreek Hill. I have no idea if Waddle is playing this week, over 6.5 receptions. I'm not sure about this, though. So here, though, these plays are in the same game, right? So you should think about that, because I'm not sure, right? Like, if the Bills have possession longer, then the Dolphins probably have possession less long, and it's not always clear. So what you can kind of do is you can look at sportsbooks. So sportsbooks, right? What makes Prize Picks different is they are technically a fantasy website. So they, by law, can't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. They're not a sportsbook. This is a fantasy website. Right? So I take Hills over or under, they're giving me the same payout. FanDuel is a sports book, so you'll see they give us different payouts depending on if we take overs or unders. So what I'm curious about is if I take Diggs and Tyreek Hill both to go over versus one over, one under, you can see the odds change a bit. So it looks like they're positively correlated, but honestly, it's not worth the squeeze. Let's get rid of this play. And what we can do is we're looking for Prize Picks. Lines are moving. So on this tool, the OddsJam Sportsbook screen, it just shows you data, but it's going to highlight line movements. But what was I trying to say? So let's go back here to the Fantasy Optimizer, and let's look for some plays on Prize Picks. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll have some plays for tonight. If not, may have to wait for Underdog Fantasy parlay play. Maybe we can do some, FanDuel bets, stuff like that. So we can go here, and we can look for some plays. Damn. So check out this play. Absolutely elite. Wow. So college football player prop. Wow, we are very off track from Thursday Night Football. I apologize if you only want bets for Thursday Night Football, but, wherever I can find an edge is basically where I'm going to bet. So if we take a look at this guy, Garrett Schrader, right? Why do we like this bet? And again, I really do believe very deeply, like understanding how these books work is, obviously important to making money. So if you take a look here, it's like, okay, again, FanDuel is a $10 billion company. They're taking bets, moving around lines based on where action's coming in. Like, even if you think you're some magician who can watch sports and predict the future, you should be looking at every book's lines to make more informed bets, right? So you can see here, FanDuel has his line at 214.5. I mean, that's a 20-yard gap, 19-yard, right? But still, you get the point. That's crazy. So what you could do is you could bet the over on FanDuel, hit Garrett Schrader over 214.5 yards, hit the under on Prize Picks. But you can see Prize Picks, sure, FanDuel's way lower than other books, but all these other books, if you take kind of like a weighted average, and FanDuel is obviously a very important sports book. They have a ton of money. They have very accurate lines, right? Like, we want to put weight into every sports book. All these books are moving around lines due to our actions coming into the market. If everyone bets his under, FanDuel will continue to move his line lower, right? FanDuel, I think, has more customers than any other sports book. So their lines, they're constantly moving around their lines based on where action's coming into the market, right? So let's go. So anyways, this seems like a good play. And again, if you wanted to, head over to fucking FanDuel. All OddsJam is doing is reading in the data. Like, people always think it's some super complex thing. No, it's just like a Bloomberg terminal, for like a trader. Like, you don't ever try trading stocks if you're not going to look at any data, because you won't stand a chance. If you don't know what prices you're buying at, you're never going to make money. It's just like sports betting. If you don't even know what the difference is between where other books are setting their lines, where they're pricing things, you won't even stand a chance. But anyways, let me make sure my screen is still sharing. It's still sharing. Check Fliff, you will see Zach Moss is at minus 155 to not score. Oh, damn, good call. So we'll check that in a sec. Wish Texas legalized gambling. Bro, you got tons of options in Texas. So you can see FanDuel 214.5. Buy low, sell high, right? Like, a lot of people, it's like, what do you do as a trader? Look at that thumbnail I got from the old OddsJam YouTube video. Couldn't find any other Packers players. Sorry, Jordan Love. But if you go here, it's like, buy low, buy over 214.5, hit the under 233.5. If you can't see why that's a really good bet, don't know what to tell you. So what we can do is we can go here and we can continue to look for some bets. So you can see there's some esports plays popping up. It's been a while since League of Legends has been on, so we can look at esports plays in a bit. But you can see here's another college football one. David Leary, right? Huge gap. Oh, fuck, though. We got Riley Patterson under 1.5 field goals made. So we got to go back to the NFL. So again, like, people always 30 minutes. So here's our first pick for tonight's game, right? Under 1.5 field goals made. And you may be like, okay, why is this a good bet? Out of all the stuff you could have picked, why is this a good bet? And it's like, well, again, it's very simple. Very simple. On Prize Picks, if you win, right? Like, people add in so much bullshit to here's how you make money on Prize Picks. This is the payout behind Prize Picks in literally backing out with a simple formula. What percentage of your over-unders do you have to win to be profitable? And it's 54.25%. So the question as to why is this bet profitable, why do you believe it's winning above 54.25% of the time, is very simply answered, right? I'm not doing any fucking magic here. We go to field goals made on all the sports books. Whoa, Riley Patterson is a big favorite to go under on DraftKings and other sports books, so this is a good play to go with, right? So all I'm trying to do on Prize Picks is find as many picks as possible, winning above 54.25% of the time. And same thing on Underdog, but again, Underdog has slightly different payouts, so it's slightly different. And we're looking decent on Underdog so far. We got a lot of good plays open. So what we can do is we can, continue to look through. So maybe fuck the esports plays for now. We already have Diggs. So we like Diggs. Okay. We like Diggs. That works out well. So you can see here, there's a bunch of line discrepancies in CSGO, which we can look through. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's probably some value we can find. So we have Tyreek Hill, but we decided to skip that play. We have Michael Thomas, who's been going off. So here we have a play for the Saints-Bucks game. So this makes a 5-pick entry, right? And again, why is this play good? Whoa, all the sports books have him heavily favored to go over. Josh Allen passing attempts. So this play pairs really nicely. And you can see, Cairo Santos over 5.5 kicking points. Johnson under 2.5 receptions. There's a lot of other options. And sometimes I'll even venture a bit lower. Again, on Prize Picks, obviously you want to win the highest percentage of your picks. But sometimes you can find some plays that pair well together, right? Like positive correlation. So again, it just takes a bit longer to think about, right? Like, if Michael Thomas is getting more receptions, then is Johnson more likely to go under? Maybe. I don't know. You kind of have to think about it. Or Chiefs, if we take him over 4.5 tackles plus assists, is Cairo Santos more likely to get kicking points? And the answer is probably yes, right? If the Bears are driving the ball and scoring fucking points, then that's the Jets game. That's a different game. But you get my point anyways. So what we can do, and again, if you want to, you can replace this with like the Hill prop. Again, there were some other props we can go with, but this will be the first bet we lock in. Max winnings. Prize Picks doing everything they can to not let me bet. And I think it's because I already have so much action on this Kenneth Walker prop, which I do think is pretty good. So I'm going to need another pick. If you want more exposure to it, obviously, you can go with it. No problems there. I'm sure there's some good college football, rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Well, rush TDs. So usually there's some good bets here. So what we can do is we can go to player touchdowns. We found a fucking insane play on Underdog Fantasy. Where is it? So we have Martinez, no rushing plus receiving touchdown. So if you look at Martinez, he is like a huge favorite to go under, minus 200 to go under, and we got this on Underdog Fantasy. He's minus 200 to go under. Underdog Fantasy doesn't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. And sportsbooks have this guy minus 200 to go under. So anyways, let's go back here. Let's try to find some other pick. And you can see, damn. So we do have over 41.5 receiving yards for Daub. So we can go here. So we can actually go to football. I mean, there's probably some college football bets, but I don't want to bore everyone. So how does this pair? This pairs pretty nicely, right? He's more likely to go over in receiving yards if the Lions have the ball less and aren't kicking as many field goals. So this makes sense to me, right? So, and if you wanted to, you could include Walker and make it a 6-pick flex play. So we can go here and we can lock that in. We can lock in this bad boy. We got our first prize picks play, but let's get the fuck over to Underdog Fantasy. Let's take a look at Christian Watson. So here it's like, okay, like I've explained this before, but the more books you have, the better. Like, I get it. You guys like prize picks, but prize picks doesn't have this guy's lineup. It's only on Underdog Fantasy. Right? It's not available on prize picks. So if you're only using prize picks, you're missing out on a really good bet. And again, all these books have different promos, stuff like that as well. So the more books you have, the better. So here we have Watson under 3.5 receptions. So it's like, okay, that's great. And some of these plays I've already bet. Did I already bet on Hill to go over? So let's take a look. No, so I can take the Hill play here, which works out because I just took the Diggs play on prize picks. So let's go to Hill. So here we go. We got 2 picks, and we got the start of an entry. And again, this plays a lot lower of a profit margin, but hey, and the strategy is the same. The only difference is Underdog and prize picks have slightly different payouts. So I have a different spreadsheet where I've gone through, the math behind Underdog Fantasy, all their different types of slips, what slip is optimal, what percentage of your picks do you have to win. And you're going to see it's 3 pick entries or 5 or 4 with insurance. And all you got to do to be profitable is win these over-unders like Tyreek Hill. Over under 6.5, you got to be able to get those correctly 55% of the time. So what we can do is we can go back here. And I'm sure there's some good college football bets on prize picks too. So I'm sure if you look through, you'll be able to find, I'm sure there are. So receiving TDs, we have Burden. So like, where are we? So here, if we go back to, let's switch this to college. And let's very quickly take a look at this. So again, if you're just tuning in, we got our first prize picks play. I got a ton of different plays open on Fliff as well, but here's our first prize picks play. Looks like it pairs pretty well together. And why did I hit it for $25? I get that question a lot now. It's not that I'm not confident in my bets. It's, Underdog Fantasy prize picks is just, they're not taking a lot of action from me. $25 max bet size. They are not pleased with some of the wins we've had, I guess. So what we can do is we can go back here. Well, what did we want to look at? We can very quickly. This will take half a second. We can look at receiving touchdowns, right? So like this Burden guy, what's his deal? You can see here, like, it looks like he's slightly favored to score a touchdown. So is there a receiving touchdown? So there is. So we can look up this Burden guy. And you can see, not a ton of value here. So we can just you can kind of look through okay, where does prize picks have touchdown lines up for these guys? And I think it was just Burden. So not a ton of value anywhere. What about rushing touchdowns? Are there any rushing touchdown props on prize picks we should want to go with? So here you can see, ooh. So this play looks great, right? This, and it's on parlay play. So this is exactly what we want to see. So parlay play. Oh, damn, they got a promo here too. So we want to take Kiner under. And what I'm going to do now is I want to take Kiner under. Right? So why do we want to do this? Why is this play profitable? Taking the Cincinnati running back to go under. And then we can go here and we can lock in our pick on Patterson. Right? We want to take him to go under. There were some other plays too. So we want to take Diggs over. you can kind of reuse. I consider it diversifying. If the picks are profitable, it doesn't really matter how many slips you include them in, right? Include it in 5 slips, 6 slips. I mean, as long as, so you can see here for Corey Kiner, all the sports books have him heavily favored to not score a touchdown. They all have his under heavily favored. So that's exactly what we want to see as a sports bettor. And on parlay play, they have slightly better payouts than Prize Picks, so that's even better. Now for Will Shipley, he's slightly favored to score a touchdown. So you'd want to lean to take his over on Prize Picks. He's like a minus 135, minus 140 favorite to go over, right? So that's exactly what we want to see. So what else is there? So we got a new play on Prize Picks that we can go with. Again, the more juice, the better. So like another play that looks halfway decent is Jaden Daniels to rush for a touchdown. But what we can do here, there's like no juice in either direction. So again, we said on Prize Picks, you have to win over 50% of your over-unders to be profitable. If the sportsbook is giving you the same odds on the over and the under, it means it's a coin flip, right? Like DraftKings has Rodney Hammond. They have him minus 115 to go over, minus 115 to go under. That means it's a coin flip, 50-50 to go over or under. So there's no value on Prize Picks because you have to win 54.25% of your bets. So anyways, we could go here. And what else did we like? Schrader, over, and then Schrader under, Thomas over. So again, if we can find some positive, correlation, that would be great. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. So we can go here, and then we can go here, and we want to take over under, right? Just following the data. And again, this is something you could middle on FanDuel, take the over 214.5. You're kind of like hedging, again, that slow and steady wins the race. This is how we are making money. Maximum daily amount is $4,000. I swear, every time I try to place a fucking bet on Prize Picks, they come up with a new way to not let me bet. But there we go. They took it for $20. Then we got to get back to Underdog Fantasy. Also, we got a parlay play promo, so we got to make sure that we take advantage of that. So you can see they got a 12-yard discount on Brown. So obviously we want to take his over. Easy money. Take his over. But what we need to do is we need to go to Underdog Fantasy. We got to finish out our slip on Underdog Fantasy. So we got 2 good picks already on Underdog. But ideally we can find some more. So anything we love, anything we're falling in love with. Kenneth Walker, no touchdown, was the play we were looking at. Anyway, so we have Underdog Fantasy. So, like, this play, I mean, it's just crazy, right? Like, it's insane. Like, it's insane when you think about it. Wait, nope. So, this college football player, Xavier Thomas, his line is 35.5 on Underdog, right? Let's go here to FanDuel. Right, and let's look at the Alabama game. Wait, are we looking at the Alabama game? Yeah, they're playing Bama. Mississippi State versus Alabama. So let's check out the Alabama game. Right, FanDuel has his line 10 yards higher. So all OddsJam is doing, damn, we got Tennessee, Alabama. Oh no, that's in a couple of weeks. So here we can see, I mean, this is crazy. 45.5 versus 35.5. It's like going to E-Trade and seeing a stock at 35.50 and then it's 45.50 on another. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But anyways, what we can do is we can go back here. And this play looks really good on Jock Market. So Nathaniel Lowe, right? All these I'll just show you. So if you use Jock Market, I mean, we have limited time before the game starts, so I'm trying to move quick and kind of go through these things. But if you take a look at Nathaniel Lowe, everybody, right? DraftKings, $10 billion company. They have a better model, data feeds than you. They're taking action, moving around lines based on where action's coming in. They all have Nathaniel Lowe's line at 1.5. Jock Market is just chilling at 2. Hit the under. What are they doing? I have no idea. But the value's on the under 2. 2 versus 1.5, it may not seem like a big deal. It's huge. Right? It's huge. You get to push, whereas everyone else would lose if he has exactly 2. So we're finding a lot of big discrepancies right now. Damn. So what we can do is, so let's take a look at the Xavier Thomas play. I mean, we got 2 picks right here, but let's take a look here. Because sometimes it's not always underdog that's screwing up. Sometimes it's FanDuel. And sometimes, it's like, oh, let's just like middle bet this, right? So like here, it's like FanDuel has his line at 45.5. All the other books are at 35.5. So it doesn't really seem like underdog's screwing up. Granted, you could middle bet this, hit the over 35 half, hit the under 45 half. That's an option. That's a good strategy, that you could implement if you wanted to. Oh, baby. Oh, my gosh. Jalen Hurts, passing attempts. So, again, the market's always moving because a lot of people will be like, oh, why is this bet showing up now? And it's a great question. And, again, a lot of times it's lineup changes, right? Like a coach, like sometimes it's just sharp action, right? Like maybe, and it's the same thing in a stock market. Maybe a hedge fund does a ton of research about a company. They realize it's undervalued, so they buy up a shit ton and the price goes up. Whereas sometimes it's like, the company announces, hey, we made a lot of money. They have a good earnings report. The stock price goes up, right? The market is always reacting to new information. You can see here like lineup changes, all those sorts of things move around the market. So you can see for Jalen Hurts, this play looks incredible. I mean, right? Like FanDuel, if you go over to the Eagles game, and again, every, book, you want to treat them as a data point on where the line should be set. And I am absolutely not saying this bet is a lock. I'm not saying it's a lock, right? I'm just showing you what I'm putting my own money on, finding plays with an edge. So if we go here, we go to FanDuel, you go to pass attempts. They have his line at 31.5, right? So obviously getting over 29.5 on underdog seems pretty good. So there we go. We got Christian Watson under 3.5 receptions. I mean, like, damn, right? Like, look at this. Dorian Singer. There's a lot of discrepancies in college football, right? Here's another middle betting opportunity, right? This is crazy. 30.5 on a bunch of books, right? 38.5 on FanDuel. Hit the over 30.5, the under 38.5. I know not a ton of states maybe can bet on college football on FanDuel, but still, really good opportunity. So we have 3 picks. What else do we want to go with? Oh, okay. Here we go. We have Artemis over 4 first map kills. Prize Picks, Vivid Picks have his line. So it looks like the most random slip of all time, but I say it all the time. When you're following the data, you understand these platforms, their payouts, inside and out, how many picks are optimal. You're really just looking for as many plays with an edge as possible. The hard part is getting down the action. I mean, you just saw on Prize Picks, it's not hard to make money off Prize Picks long term once you understand the strategies, how their payouts work. The hard part is, they try to screw you. They try to limit you. They try to do all these things, which is why another benefit of having multiple books. There's like 40 sports books out there. You should be using as many as possible. So let's go back here. Who are we looking at? League of Legends is finally back. So this guy's line, 4.5. 4 here seems pretty good. Oh, whoa. We got some headshot bets coming up. Man, I should have started this live stream earlier. I didn't realize there were going to be so many good bets out there right now. So we can go to headshots, CSGO. And we may got a live stream later. I mean, that just may be what it means. So here, the discrepancy, right, like this is a good middle betting opportunity. You only have 2 data points. In general, underdog is the stupid kid at the bar. So in general, I'd rather lean to bet the side on underdog fantasy, personally. But you can see here, like this is crazy. What you could do is bet the over 14, bet the under 16.5 on underdog. Get both sports books. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got a bunch of good picks. And I'm going to lock in this so you can see first 3 picks here if you want to build it, if you want to tail it. I know they can move lines quickly sometimes, so this is the first play I'm going to go with. The slip-on Prize Picks look legit. What does that even mean? Yeah, exactly. That headshot line was at 16.5. That's exactly what I'm saying. And yeah, I would definitely take Walker, no touchdown. If you can on Prize Picks, I've already hit my limit, but that would be the play that I would go with. So we got 5 picks here. You can see if any of them are still available. I obviously don't recommend taking bumps when you can avoid it. So we also have there's a promo on Parlay Play, right? We got 8 minutes left. So we can try to find a good pick to go with. But let me lock in this play. Well, you can see the headshot line already. They already bumped the headshot line, so never mind. I guess we're not going to bet that headshot line. Someone moved the line on us just now. Whew. So what we can do is we can look for one final pick. What do we want to go with? What do we want to go with? Anything correlated? KJ Osborne, over 2.5 receptions. Fuck it, sure. Right? Why do we like this play? It's always the same answer, right? Why is this play? It ultimately boils down to why is this play winning? On underdog to be profitable, 5 picks with insurance, you have to win 54.7% of your bets or more to be profitable. Why does this play have a win rate above 54.79? Very simple. Look at receiving props, look at receptions, and then we got our boy KJ. Let's take a look. His over is heavily favored, right? You got to put weight into DraftKings odds and every other sports book. You can look at Caesars, again, like there's a fine balance between spending all day looking for bets and, Vikings over. I mean, I'm a fan of this. So again, $100 max bet size. I'm going to lock it in for 100. A lot of people ask like, oh, why do you only bet, $100? I'm typically just betting the max that the sports books give me. Here's another one. McCaffrey, 17.5 rushing attempts. That's a pretty high rushing attempts line. On an underdog, FanDuel has him at 15.5. Damn, there are a lot of esports bets right now as well. So you can take a look here. I mean, right, 30, 39.5, 37.5s across the board. So we have our first play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm sure there's some other bets we could go with. So that is a bet we'd want to go with. 39.5, the other 2 data points we have telling us the line should be lower. That seems pretty good, right? So it's like, okay. And again, Diggs play, I already locked in, so I'm not going to be able to rebet it, but that play seems pretty good. So we can go back here, and what we can do is we can look at Parlay Play real quickly and see where the value is. So we crushed. We were all over Purdy under in rushing yards last week, and I guess we'll be over it again. Under 7.5 this week. I think last week, I don't even remember what we had, but we've been crushing Parlay Play recently. So if we check out Purdy, let's do this month. So this month we're up 2.6K on Parlay Play. So a good start. Obviously we're always playing 6-pick parlays. Estime kind of screwed us over. He kind of screwed us over, but we had Purdy under 8.5 rushing yards last week. He had -1. So that play obviously won, right? Sanders all over his unders recently. But, so we'll take him again this week. The broke NFL quarterback. So what we can do is we can go back to Parlay Play as well. And again, these promos, fucking easy money, right? 65.5 is the line. You can kind of see on Parlay Play, right? With this promo, why is this play good? It's unless you think you're smarter than literally every other sports book in the world. And remember, these lines are set by sports bettors, right? People don't understand how markets work. And if you don't understand how markets work, you shouldn't be betting on sports, right? Line movements. If everyone starts betting the under, sportsbooks will move odds towards the under. They don't just not move lines. When everyone buys a stock, the price goes up. It's supply and demand. It works the same way in sports betting. It's, you can research this. You can look it up anywhere, just how sportsbooks work. So we want to take his under, right? We want to take Yarbrough's under. All the books have him heavily favored to go under. Parlay Play, just like Underdog, a platform. They don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. So obviously we want to take his under. That is the sharp pick to go with. So now we have 4 good picks, but it's kind of like, okay, come on. Load. So what we can do here is we can go to the NFL. We can see if they have any other TD lines. I mean, I'm not sure if I can search for TDs. That's not going to work. So past TDs, do we have anything we like? So they have a lot of combo props up, but anyways, let's finish out this. I only have 3 more minutes. So where do we want to go next? Damn. Aaron Jones, under 49.5 rushing yards. How do we feel about this? This play, I actually really like. It also pairs well with St. Brown, right? So why do we like this pick? Well, again, it all boils down to why is this pick winning? Why is this pick winning above 53.2% of the time, which is what, you have to win on parlay play to be profitable. So if we go and we look at NFL rushing yards, right? Let's take a look at Jones. All the books have his line at 47.5, 46.5. But in general, they have his under pretty heavily favored. 45.5 is across the board. Barstool, the score. 47.5 with the under favored on Fliff. So again, as a sports bettor, you're using all this information. It becomes pretty clear getting under 49.5 is a good deal when all the other sports books, again, are setting the line at 47.5, 46.5. And they have the under heavily favored. DraftKings, you're not only getting 2 yards of value, right? DraftKings has his line at 47.5. We're getting under 49.5. But DraftKings also has his under juiced all the way to minus 140, right? That's a no-brainer. So what we can do is we can keep looking, see what we like out there. Damn, there are a lot of good bets right now. Trevor Etienne, I already bet him. Underset, I mean, here's another one, 8-yard middle. FanDuel has a line at 60.5, parlay plays at 68.5. There is so much opportunity because most sports bettors are so clueless to make a lot of money right now that I really encourage you to make money off of the sports books. There's just so much value out there. It's absolutely insane. There's just value everywhere. So we'll go with Jaden Daniels, under 64.5 rushing yards. Gibbs, under 31.5 under 41.5 sports books. Here's another one. Gibbs, his line is 41.5 on parlay play. It's 35.5 on FanDuel. This market is so fragmented, so inefficient, which is why, you can make a lot of money. You make a lot of money doing it. So we want him under. So there we go. We got our LSU boy. And again, their max bet size is $60. The hard part isn't the strategy to making money. Well, with this promo, it's only actually $20. So I'm only going to be able to bet this for $20. But again, the hard part isn't the strategy for making money. The hard part is getting down, action consistently. So we can go back here and we can go here. And what we can do is we can go back to, maybe Fliff, FanDuel. Depending on where you're located, you may use different books, So, you can see a lot of the top value is here. Here's a play on Prize Picks. I'm already on this play, but I do think it's pretty good. Musgrave, under 3.5 receptions. All the books have his under pretty heavily favored. That's a great play to go with. Damn, you got the Bengals first quarter money line plus 100. Every other book has the Bengals favored to win the first half. So you got to think about this, right? This bet looks great on DraftKings. What is plus 100 odds? Very simple example. Plus 100 odds is like flipping a coin for $100. If the Bengals win the first quarter, you get $100. If the Titans win the first quarter, you lose $100. It's like flipping a coin with a friend for $100. But you can see here, the positive EV tool, the reason this bet is profitable, the reason this bet has an edge, is all the sports books have the Bengals favored to win the first quarter, except for DraftKings. Pinnacle, known to be one of the sharper, smarter, more sophisticated books, they have the Bengals favored to win the first quarter. Same thing with Bovada. Same thing with PointsBet. Same thing with FanDuel. Same thing with BetMGM. All these books are so it's like getting a coin weighted in your favor. The coin is more likely to show up on heads. You're flipping it with a friend for $100. You're going to pick heads because heads is the favored outcome, right? You found a coin weighted in your favor, essentially. So that's a really good bet, right? And that's, essentially the first play we're going to go with. So parlay play, only been using it for a couple months now. We're already up to like $4,000 profit, something like that. Every single pick I've given out for free, every single one, on Twitter or YouTube. And you can see it's just, if you would have tailed everything. I mean, granted, sometimes the lines move quickly, but just following the data. Anyone who thinks you can outsmart the market, man, you are in for a rude awakening. Don't go into the financial world. Don't go into the financial world. $4,000 profit. So, looking pretty good. I know the game's about to start. We'll be back on live stream later. Maybe I'll tweet out some plays during the game.